Well, it's official. Luke Getsy is the fall guy for Antonio Pierce and his shit staff. Love it. Love it. I love it. What's good? What's good? Well, it took 9 weeks for the Raiders to make a business decision, but Luke Getsy is out the door. No more Luke Getsy. Breaking news. If you haven't heard, Luke Getsy has been fired. Luke Getsy gets the boot. Bye bye. Who will take over? I guess we will find out very, very soon. Who will be the next guy to run the ship in Las Vegas? Man, what a wild day. What an ass game. But we have an upside, right? There's an upside. I really got to know who the man is calling plays now. Now I'm going nuts. Now I got to know. Well, AP's still there and Getsy is gone, so I think AP's good for the season. But I really don't see the point in keeping him. I mean, other than his contract, he really ain't doing shit. Whether the team plays for him or not, it's not the point. He just doesn't have the knowledge to be a head coach. So if it was me, I would fire AP just like we fire Luke Getsy right now. Call it quits. Let somebody else run the rest of the season and start looking for that head coach now. Getting on the phone, calling and seeing who's available. And I know you can't talk to offensive coordinators for other teams without their permission. So that's not really a thing you can do until the season is over. But hey, there's still guys out there like Belichick, like Drabel. I mean, there's guys they can be on the phone with, but it's definitely that something needs to be put together faster than last year with the AP signing. Hiring, having to interview all these coaches because we had an interim coach and all that bullshit that we went through last year. That shit's got to be over. They have to have somebody in mind if they fire AP, and it has to be done like that because we got a lot of work to do. You got you got a lot of work to do. We got to figure out if Munford's that guy. He's a free agent. The way he played today, I would just wash my hands of Munford, send him back to Ohio State. I mean, what could we get for Colton Miller at this point? I'd be moving on from Colton Miller. I'd be cleaning house. There's like maybe 10 players on this team that I would keep right now. And the rest, your job depends on what you do the rest of the year. That's what I would do. I mean, that's just me. But if you haven't heard, Luke Getsy is done, gone, fired. Hasta la vista. What happens in Vegas doesn't always stay in Vegas. Should have came to you live. I could have shared the channel. Well, I just got breaking news, and sometimes as a wannabe reporter, you have to report the news, right? What's good? What's good? Brady calling the plays by phone works for me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much Brady's going to be involved. I think that's all just hoopla. You don't want Bill Belichick. I want a winning culture, and if it means an old ass coach with a good offensive coordinator, I mean, if anything, Belichick knows talent. He knows football. And if you get a good offensive coordinator and if you get a head coach like a Belichick, you're going to have offensive coordinators that want to come to this organization and coach. Right now, nobody's going to want to come and coach for AP. You're not going to get a guy like Ben Johnson or a Sloviak or any of these cats to come in and coach under Antonio Pierce. It's just not going to happen. None of these big time offensive coordinators are going to be underneath a guy that doesn't know what he's doing, that doesn't know his job. That's never going to happen. So, I mean, it's a pipe dream. All these people that think we need to keep Antonio Pierce and we're going to get this, super up and coming, innovative offensive coordinator and we're going to go get Shador Sanders or Cam Ward, or it's a pipe dream, bro. We're living in a dream world. Like, no matter how many picks we have, that shit's not going to happen overnight. We're not going to be the Houston Texans and go from a decent team to a playoff team because we had a decent team and we went to ass. So now we're at the very bottom, starting over again. Like, it wasn't a full rebuild last year, right? We had a lot of pieces. Now, a lot of those pieces are hurt, and a lot of those pieces are free agents. So it's a whole nother ball game. Like, this season changed how next season, the season after, and the season after that is gonna affect fans. It's gonna affect players. It changed a lot. It changed a lot by keeping Luke Getsy in here. It changed a lot by hiring Antonio Pierce. And I'd be a liar if I said I wasn't one of the guys that wanted Antonio Pierce because I thought this dude really was gonna change shit around. But when you don't know how to Ray Love, what's good was good. When you don't know how to do your job, which is be a coach, which is which is do your job, evaluate players, and be a coach. We seen AP over there trying to be a rah-rah guy for the first time I've seen all year, high-fiving the defense when they're on the bench, going and talking to them. That's something that dude should have been doing all year long, right? Al's Ghost, what's good? Appreciate you. Jesus Mraz, what's good? If y'all haven't heard, Luke Getsy is fired. Done. Vamonos. Bon voyage. Firing Getsy doesn't change the core issues. No, but it's going to change, hopefully, some of the discipline issues, some of the garbage play calling when you start out hot and then you go back to what doesn't work. Like, it's got to help. It's got to help some, right? It's got to boost morale, at least for the rest of the season. But on the other hand, who wanted morale boosted? Did anybody want to win games the rest of the year? Because for the first time in my life in 49 years as a Raider fan, I didn't. I was at the point after the last loss, like, fuck the season. The season's done, right? I'm done with the season. Go out there, play. Don't let nobody get hurt, major, or get injured. That's going to mess up their career. And play for next year at this point, right? They haven't said who's taking over. More than likely it'll be Tuesday at the press conference before we find out, because I'm sure that at this point they don't even really know who's taking over. But my guess would be like a Tom Philbin, Joe Philbin. He's been a head coach. He has play calling knowledge. He knows how to run an offense. And this offense definitely doesn't look like he's had his hand in it at all whatsoever. So that's my guess. But, it could be Luke Steckel. It could be, what the hell's, Norv Turner's son, Scott Turner. It could be Scott Turner. It could be a lot of guys. I mean, we have guys that have the ability to take over play calling skills. But my question is, how much of the playbook are they going to keep? Because some of it was okay, and some of it was very, very, very bad, right? Scott Turner. I mean, look, Norv Turner is one of the best offensive coordinators, I think, probably ever in this league, right? He always had a pretty decent, he wasn't a great head coach. He wasn't a good head coach at all, at all. But the man was always a pretty defensive offensive coordinator, in my opinion. So his son has been passing game coordinator for the Raiders for, 3 years now, 4 years. So the man's been around. He knows how to, come up with plays. He knows how to evaluate defenses, to create plays for the offense. So, I think it's good. Raiders are number one when it comes to firing coaches. Raiders are number one when it comes to pretty much anything bad. Um, Joe Burrow, for the first time in his career, in a man's life, was 12 for 12 starting the game. 12 for 12. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, but I mean, I'm kind of at the point where I don't know. I don't know because this is what I'm getting. I'm getting Luke Getsy was the man that wasn't just calling the plays. He was calling the personnel because Antonio Pierce didn't know what guys fit Luke Getsy's system. It was kind of like last year with Dick Daniels. Nobody knew what Dick Daniels' system really was, or you know what it was meant to do, or what the whole concept was. So that's kind of where we're at now. So I think maybe guys like Dylan Labe, who has been a scratch like 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, has been a scratch, not even out there, like not getting no play time. You would think when we're going up against a team like the Cincinnati Bengals, who are supposed to have the worst run defense in the NFL, that you would bring in a rookie and at least try to get him some reps. But hell no, hell no, that'd be too easy. Trade deadline is Tuesday. I mean, I don't think that matters because Antonio Pierce has said over and over again, we're just going to keep doing what we do, whether it works or not. I don't know if it was his idea to fire Luke Getsy. I don't know if it came from Tom Brady on a phone call. I don't know if it was, Mark Davis. We don't know. We don't know details, and we probably won't until Hondo Carpenter comes out and says what happened. But who knows when that'll be, and if that'll even be half-assed true. But I think, what do y'all think about the trading deadline? The two people that are in here, what do you think? Do you think we should be sellers? Do you think we should be buyers at the trade deadline? My personal opinion is blow this shit up right now. Like, even Max Crosby, dude. Max Crosby, I love the guy. I have the jersey, of course. I rock with Max. He is a great defensive end. But the dude is not like the greatest, like everybody says, bro. You're not a franchise guy if you can't tackle. If you can't hit quarterbacks, you are the worst tackler I've ever seen in my life when it comes to sacking quarterbacks. I've never seen so many quarterbacks just get bumped down and not get tackled. Like, when it comes to running backs from behind, he's great at tackling. But when it comes to guys like coming at him or him trying to tackle a quarterback, Max Crosby cannot tackle worth shit, dude. I don't know how you don't get more penalties, because it's like, I don't know. You don't try to strip the ball. You have balls thrown up right in front of you. You're swatting down like King Kong. Like, I don't know, bro. This team is just falling apart. Like, overrunning plays. It's just bad. It's just bad. It's bad. It's bad. He can't get no help. It's bad when you're the number one defensive player on the team. You're the franchise. And at least 10 plays a game, you're supposed to be on the outside in your lane. And you have a guy blitzing, and you go around to the middle of the field and leave your containment completely open for a running back to run 20, 30 yards up the field. And it's happened numerous times, to where even Divine Diablo was saying, when guys don't keep their contain or stay in their lanes, it's kind of hard to stop the run. And now you got, offensive coordinators being fired. But when's Patrick Graham going to be fired? Because let's be honest, when has Patrick Graham been good since he's been here? The 7 games that Antonio Pierce coached last year? Because when Dick Daniels was the coach, his defense was ass. And this year, again, it's absolutely ass, bro. It's one of the reasons we've lost a lot of these games. We'll be in games, we'll get bad calls by our offensive coordinator, and then sure enough, we're right back to the same old shit. Defense giving up touchdowns or short yardage, or defense not tackling. Again, Divine Diablo again today, no tackling. Jack Jones, if it wasn't for the interception, I would have took him out a long time ago, but then we wouldn't have had the interception. But man, Luke Getsy is supposed to be the scapegoat, right? So we will find out. I've been saying all year long, I didn't think Luke Getsy was the problem on offense all the time. I thought when it came to calling plays in a strategic moment or time that he was very, very, very bad. When the pressure was on, he didn't really get the job done. So that really hurt us. But a lot of people said it was all Luke Getsy, and he was the reason we were asked. So now we have his system, somebody else calling the plays, and we will find out very, very soon who was the culprit. The Raiders should trade one of the O-line. Right now, I think we should be. I mean, if I'm Tom Telesco, if I'm Mark Davis, I'd fire Tom Telesco too. I'm just saying right now. Like, if you want to rebuild this franchise and start it over right, fire everybody in the building. I don't care who they are. If you work or have anything to do with training these guys or anything, sorry, man, you gotta go. You gotta go. Rob Ryan too. All those guys. Like, just watch the whole entire shit with them. Go do like most teams do. Go hire a damn general manager, a real general manager. Maybe even bring back Dave Ziegler. Like, yeah, I said it. Bring back Dave Ziegler, Mike Mayock, somebody. Bring back one of these guys. Let them hire the head coach for once. Instead of hiring a head coach and letting your head coach pick your general manager, because we did the same thing this year. No, our head coach didn't pick our general manager, but we pretty much had the head coach before we got a general manager. We all knew who the head coach was before Tom Telesco was named general manager. So for once in the fucking history of the franchise, can we do shit right? Fire everybody, go get a new general manager, bring back Reggie McKenzie. I don't care at this point, but go get a GM, let him pick his head coach, let them pick the staff together, and then work on who we're going to get at quarterback, because everybody knows that is the major the problem, or everybody still thinks that's the problem, quarterback. I still say that's the farthest problem we have right now. If you have a makeshift quarterback, you can make it through the NFL if you have an offensive line and receivers and a running game and a defense. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs. If you think I'm lying, Patrick Mahomes is playing worse than a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Their offense is trash, but they have a number one defense, and they win games because they have a number one defense. So you don't always need that superstar quarterback to be the best team in the NFL, or to be a competing team, or to be a dominating team, or to be a playoff team. Yes, you need a quarterback. Yes, you need a good quarterback. But does it have to be a number one pick in the draft that can turn out to be a flop and set you back another 5-10 years like Jamarcus Russell did us? No, it doesn't. That's my opinion. No, it doesn't. No. We could be just fine with the Jackson Dart. We could be just fine with a Dylan Gabriel. We could be just fine with whatever the hell the kid's name is in Indiana that I always forget. There's a lot of these quarterbacks that we could be just fine with. But first, you have to have an offense. We can't. Everybody's saying we need to go draft a quarterback this year. Who's going to protect them? Who? Who's going to protect them? DJ Glaze and Jackson Powers Johnson? Like, come on, bro. That's only 2 guys. You need 5. You got to have 5. And nowadays, you probably should have 6. But my thing right now, like I said, if I'm Tom Telesco, oh, JPJ doing his shit at center, I'm saying. But JPJ and DJ Glaze, like I said, that's only two guys. We need three more on the line, and I think Meredith can be that guy. Like I would be willing, if it was me, I'd be willing to say I'd put Meredith at right guard and leave his ass there. But you still need a left side. You still need a left tackle in this year's draft, and you still need a left guard. Like unless you keep Parham. If Parham could get healthy, and you could put Parham at the left where he played last year, or put him back over at the right, and you can, put Meredith at the right side, and Parham could play right. But Munford just looked horrible, absolutely horrible out there at left tackle, bro. What the hell what happened? What happened to Munford? Dude, Thayer Munford last year was down the stretch when Colton Miller got hurt was one of the best left tackles in the NFL. He wasn't giving up pressures. He wasn't giving up sacks. We had a run game. Like Zamir White was running behind him like it was shit, blowing through holes. Now all of a sudden, he played right for the rest of, for a couple games, and then played right to start out this season for the first 3-4 games. And now all of a sudden the dude's trash. Like now all of a sudden Munford can't do shit. And the fact that they had the dude lined up as a wide receiver, they had him fucking lined up as a wide receiver last week, and he couldn't even catch a ball that was on the ground. The big clumsy ass dude that they're supposed to be so athletic, they lined him up at wide receiver, jumped on a fumble, and it had the hand right on his, he's looking right at it, hands on the ball, and somehow he lands on the ball and it squirts out, and they pick it up and run it for a touchdown. Of course. Of course. Of course. Same old shit. But, man. Anyways, that's where we're at. We have a new offensive coordinator. Shit is turning around in Las Vegas. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. We will be back in 3 years. No, I'm just saying. In 3 more years, we might be good. I don't know. 4 years. By then, Max Crosby will be washed up. He will be old. He won't be able to tackle the quarterback because he can't even get to a quarterback now. I mean, damn. I didn't even see him get double teamed that much in this game, but he was getting thrown around like a rag doll. Max Crosby got bitched so many times in that game, bro. I'm not playing. Like, he was just getting slung around, tossed around, pushed way completely out of the play. Our defense is bad. Our offense is bad. And it all comes down to coaching and discipline. So, I don't know. AP's the head coach. I think he's the one that should be gone. I don't think it should be Getsy. I don't think Getsy got a fair shake. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who was telling Getsy what he could do and what he couldn't do, but to me, it seems like there's somebody above pulling strings that's not letting these guys be these guys. So, I'm out. I just wanted to break the news. I appreciate y'all pulling up. I'm going to get off here. Got to work in the morning. Much love. Raiders. Peace. Let's go, nation. Oh, we just pulled up. Estrada, what's good, my guy? I guess I won't go. I'm going to talk for a minute. Did you hear the news? Luke Getsy is gone. No more Getsy. What do you think about Luke Getsy being fired? Do you think AP is next? Or you think Luke Getsy was just a scapegoat for AP to keep his job for the rest of the season? Yeah, another shit show, but at least Luke Getsy's gone, right? That's what everybody keeps saying. Luke Getsy was the problem. Luke Getsy was the reason our offense was trash. But everybody's going to soon find out that we still have no running game, that our running backs are still garbage, And then our offensive line only blocks when they want to. You think AP's next? You think they're gonna let him finish out the season, or you think they're gonna pull the plug and fire him Monday morning? Yeah, Getsy got fired, bro. They just announced it all over Twitter. Luke Getsy fired. Unless it's a joke, but I think Paul Palacero, Gutierrez, all them dudes are reporting on Twitter. Tom Telesco has been fired. Absolutely. Woohoo. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, what do y'all think? Where do you think we go from here, bro? Passing game, Scott Turner expected to take over. So, there you go. Scott Turner, passing game coordinator, expected to take over for the Las Vegas Raiders for the rest of the season. Which means we will have a new offensive coordinator, obviously, fucking duh, next year, unless Scott Turner just comes out and becomes this new innovative balling out mofo. I don't know. It could happen, right? It could happen. Where's my lighter go? I'm gonna go out here and smoke. Fuck. This kind of sucks though, right? Like, let's be honest. 4 people in here. Thumbs up or thumbs down if you think this sucks. And it helps and it hinders the shit out of our chances of getting a fucking number 1 or number 2 draft pick. Let me give you my opinion. I'm saying thumbs down, bro. I think this is a bullshit firing. I think it was at a shitty time. And I think they should have did it like, you know, fucking in week 4 when we were absolutely trash and seen that this offense was going nowhere. But now you're going to bring in a guy like Scott Turner, whose daddy was, you know, pretty damn good at his job. And I'm sure if he's got any problems, he can call up and be like, what? Bro, I don't know, 5 straight losses in a row into the bye. Oh, wait. But, you know, he can call up his daddy anytime and be like, yo, I need a play, or can you help me run these plays, or help me come up with some kind of schemes for this team. I think that's a good thing. But I think we have a chance to win games because this team is not bad. Everybody can say we have a bad team. And yes, we're down to 5 offensive linemen. And that's going to hinder a lot of shit that we can do. But we have one of the best tight ends in the NFL. We have still a pretty damn solid number 1 in Jacoby Myers. And we have playmakers on this team like DJ Turner if he gets the ball in his hands. So yeah, I think it sucks. I think it sucks if they're still trying to win games. I think it's going to hurt this team. Right? They should have fired him on Halloween. They could have fired him before the Kansas City game. You know, fired him when we had a chance, when we only had to win when we only had to win 8 out of the 10 games instead of having to win all 10 games. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I believe with the new offensive coordinator that this team's just going to turn it around, because we've seen our defense, 4 weeks too late, right? Absolutely 4 weeks too late. But we've seen our defense today was just absolutely fucking atrocious, bro. Just atrocious. Like, they couldn't tackle. I know they went against the probably the best quarterback in the NFL. That's my opinion. Yes, I said it. I think Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the NFL. Like, he's way more precise. He could throw the ball into any, anywhere on the field. The guy is mobile when he wants to be. If you just give that dude an offensive line, dude, he would kill it. If he had the offensive line Patrick Mahomes had, and you put Joe Burrow in Kansas City, come on. They're killing it. They're killing it. You think our offense is going to get worse? I don't think it's going to get worse. I think Scott Turner, I think anybody's calling those plays, dude. I think Antonio Pierce really, if he knew shit about the offense, could pick up that playbook and call plays better than Luke Getsy. Because you see, when Luke Getsy has scripted plays, the offense looks fucking solid, bro. We came down, nobody could stop us. We came down and just dominated the first drive like it was nothing. We ran the ball, we passed the ball. We did what we wanted to do. We did what Al Davis said. Don't take what the defense gives you. We take what the fuck we want. And that's what we did on the first drive. That's what we've done on the first drive every year. We didn't take what the defense gave us. We took what the fuck we wanted to. Like the Raiders should do. Like we always done. But then we fall off. We're like, oh, damn, we can score? We're not supposed to do that. Let's call shitty plays and let's run the ball fucking over and over again on 3rd and 18. Once again this week. So I think it's going to make a huge difference to this offense. Watch. You're going to see a whole nother offense, I guarantee you. I don't know if we're going to have a run game. Nah, I don't think Minshew's going to be quarterback. I think they're going to be smart enough, and Scott Turner's going to be like, no, Minshew is not the guy. You have to put in Ritter. And let's face it, Aiden's been out 3 weeks already, right? 3 weeks? So shit, you get Aiden back in another week or two. But I don't want to see this team win, dude. I don't want to see us win. I want to see us lose. And that's horrible to say. I hate to fucking be able to. I hate to stand here with this tattoo on my arm and say I want to see us lose. But I do. It's a fact. Like, we don't. Why? Win for what? Win for what? To keep AP's job? Fuck that. No. Lose every game to get his ass fired. That's what I want. Lose every game. Send him off with a little package at the end of the year, being like, here's your care package, bro. Like, right? It's fucking sad. It's sad that you have to say you want to see your team lose so they can get better. I mean, every year we're just this close away. We need a couple more parts. We need one more part. It's bad, bro. It's bad. I've never been at this point in my life. This is like, and fucking, dude, I'm 49. I've lived through some bad seasons. I lived through Jamarcus Russell. I lived through fucking Todd Marinovich. Like, fucking, come on, man. I've been through some shit, dude. And I never ever wanted to quit on this team and be like, bro, fuck it, just lose. But right now, I can't. Like, there's nothing I want more than to watch us lose. Like, I'm cheering when we don't score. I'm like, woohoo, we kicked the field goal. Yes. Fuck. It's sad, dude. It's sad. It's pathetic. It's fucking pathetic that Mark Davis makes us put up with this shit, that we're so fed up with our own team that we're fucking rooting. We're rooting to be the worst team in the NFL. Our own fan base is rooting to be the worst fucking team in the NFL. We're like, yes, please lose. Please lose. And we think a quarterback's going to come in and help. Have you seen our offensive line? What's this rookie quarterback going to do? Unless he's a mobile quarterback and that bitch can run for his life, he ain't doing shit, bro. He ain't doing shit. But yeah, man, I can't wait to see what we look like in Miami. We got 2 weeks with the offensive coordinator. I guess it was kind of a good time to fire him, but I mean, last week would have been better. At least we would have had, 3 weeks going into the bye to try to pull out the rest of the season. Bro, that lightning is crazy back there. We're getting a wild ass storm. Puffing on some trees. What you puffing on? Smoking on the ganja, man. I'm smoking on... What am I smoking on? I don't know. Oh, some Amnesia Haze. Amnesia Haze. What it do, what it do. Appreciate you. Ms. M. What's good, what's good? What's your team? Where you from? What do you think about Luke Getsy being fired? If you know, if you're a Raider fan. Anybody want to place a wager? I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet a shitload of money that the Raiders do what the Raiders do best. Not a football fan, where just a trees fan. Too many rules. Yeah, too many soft ass rules. Can't hit a quarterback. What the kind of shit is that? But yeah, bro, I'm a firm believer that. What the hell was I talking about? No, I forgot. I smoked too much weed. But damn, what the hell was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm willing to put like a huge pile of money that somehow this team turns it around with the new offensive coordinator. The defense steps it up and watch us start winning games and go from first pick overall to fucking like 10th or 11th, 12th, 13th, same spot we were in last year. Watch us end up 8 and 9 again. Man, just when you think the day could not get any worse or get any better, get crazy ass news. Well, at least I don't have to fucking do live play-by-play next week that nobody shows up to, right? That's a good plus. So what do y'all think? You think the Raiders make any moves? You think with the new offensive coordinator? I think the Bengals just scored again. I think they scored again too, bro. I think they probably got another turnover also. Breaking news, Luke Getsy has been fired. Well, the Raiders might be scoring from here on out because they actually finally have a coach, or offensive coordinator. Because let's be honest, our passing game has been the best, the best part of the offense, right? My team got blown out too, so I can't say much. Who's your team, Christopher? Christopher Motley. Welcome to the chat, my brother. Appreciate you pulling up. The Chicago Bears. Oh, but you can't be crying about that, bro. Y'all got a fucking amazing quarterback. And I'm not going to lie. I was saying Caleb Williams was not going to make it in the NFL. The kid was soft, crying on his mama titty, painting his nails and shit. All that shit that grown men really don't do. I thought he was going to not make it in the NFL. I thought the kid was going to be soft, but man, he looks good to me. So you have a solid-ass quarterback of the future. You also have one of the best running backs in the draft in Rome Odunze. And once they connect with him and Caleb Williams, man, the Bears are going to be solid, bro. You got a good ass defense. You got rid of Luke Getsy. You got a lot of shit to be positive about. What are they? 5-3, 5-4 now. What up? I told you I even called it as Raider fans. Bengal one and Minshew booty ass as usual. What's up, Greg? You called it, my guy. You called it. I know, bro. Oh, 4-4. I mean, that's still not bad. You're not in a bad position, right? You got Denarius Moore, you got Rome Odunze. I mean, you got Keenan Allen. You got weapons over there, bro. You got running backs. I don't know. I mean, they just got out coached today, obviously, but I did not see him getting blown out like that today. But when you had a rookie quarterback, that shit's gonna happen, right? You know how the rookie quarterback makes plays with his legs. And if you just take one aspect away from that dude and make him one-dimensional, it's not hard to beat teams. I mean, just look at the Raiders. You take Gardner Minshew's weaknesses, which is pretty much his whole fucking game, and you take that away, and you have nothing. You have nothing, bro. You don't have shit. The Raiders should lose to stay locked in to get their first pick and get a quarterback. Well, let me ask you this, Jesus. Who's going to protect that quarterback? Like, I don't think this, I mean, yeah, we need a quarterback, but here's the thing. He can't start this year or next year. We can't go get a quarterback in the first round and throw him to the wolves with no offensive line. Now, we have $108 million projected next year, and it might go up because we might move a Colton Miller. We might move a Thayer Munford. We might move a Michael Mayer. I mean, we could get rid of these guys. Jacoby Myers might all be traded within the next 3 days. And that might give us more capital and more money. So unless we plan on taking this $108 million, salary cap that we got and going and getting one of these top offensive linemen in free agency, which I don't know what free agent offensive linemen are out there because I haven't got that far because we shouldn't have to do that in week 9. But as Raider fans in this fucking franchise, we have to do shit like that, right? When you're 2-7, it's time to start looking for the future. So, I mean, we have to see what free agent linemen are out there, but we have to go get an offensive line. You can't bring in a rookie quarterback and and expect him to do good. I mean, look what the Texans did. They went and spent all their money on the offensive line because they drafted a quarterback in the first round. The Washington Commanders did the exact same thing this year. They went and beefed up their offensive line to try to protect, their number one asset. And I don't know. I don't know who's going to be calling the shots for Vegas. I don't know if it's going to be Tom Telesco. I don't know if Antonio Pierce is going to be the head coach, if he's going to be involved. So it's hard to say, man. But if you ask me right now, I see way more quarterbacks next year coming out of the draft than this year. So there's a lot of guys that could, juniors that could come out this year. But if they stay one more year, there's a lot more quarterbacks next year. Now, do we keep Gardner Minshew or Ritter or stay with Aiden O'Connell for another year? Those are all questions we have to wait to be answered, right? I got the Lions versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to argue with you one bit, but I mean, I might have to push back a little bit and say the Chiefs' offense isn't a Super Bowl offense. They're not a playoff offense. And if they don't get their shit together really, really, really soon, which I know they're going to get Pacheco back and everything's supposed to turn around, but Patrick Mahomes is not himself right now. He hasn't been himself. And until he gets his head out of his ass and starts playing like Patrick Mahomes, they're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs. Mark my words. Their defense can't keep them in every fucking game this year. Every game they've won is because of their defense. In Kansas City, bro, like, your defense can win you games, but they can't win you every game. And it's going to come to a point where their defense is somebody's going to out scheme that defense. And I know it's hard because Spagnuolo is one of the best defensive, if not the best defensive coordinators on the planet right now. It's hard to out scheme him, but one of these young offensive coordinators who have weapons and a quarterback are going to find ways to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, the Raiders laid out the blueprint last year. A solid-ass defense, pressure Mahomes, and keep the ball out of his hands. There's just not many teams that can do that, right? I'm not mad, but we don't lose anymore. Wait. I'm not mad when we do lose anymore. Oh, God. I'm not mad when we do lose anymore. Except it's a big master plan. And we're going to get our quarterback. What? As long as we keep moving up. I mean, we're already second. We don't have to move up anymore. That assures us one of the top breaking quarterbacks right there, right? So I do agree our O-line needs to step up since they're young. I mean, yeah, we have an O-line for the future, but we don't have all the pieces we need. Colton Miller's just not it. He's not it. Like, I don't know if, again, like I said yesterday in my live, I don't know if any of y'all was in here, but Colton Miller's just not it right now. I don't know if he's still injured, if he's still struggling with the injury from last year, but the man is just not what he used to be. And at this point, you got to move on from a guy like that. Like, we need to think about the future. And at his age, he might have 2 or 3 more years, but that's all things we're going to have to evaluate in the offseason. But it might not have the offseason, because if somebody was calling about Colton Miller, which he's hurt right now, so nobody's going to be calling about him. But, you know, if somebody calls about Colton Miller, you gotta weigh your options there. I mean, I'd be trying to get rid of him and let Munford go, you know, when his contract's up at the end of the year. That's what I'd be doing. We need better offensive coaches. Well, we have Luke Getsy's been fired. If you didn't hear, Greg Lira, Luke Getsy has been fired. I want to know who was our O-line coach. Why is this dude not figuring out how to get the O-line better? Well, our O-line coach has the same name as you. No, I'm just kidding. James Gregg. James Gregg is our O-line coach, and Joe Philbon is assistant assistant of the offense. So he's assistant offensive line coach, assistant coordinator, assistant, all that shit. So, but James Gregg from San Francisco is the O-line coach, which was just an assistant O-line coach, and is part of the problem that we have with this. You have Luke Getsy, 2 years experience, offensive coordinator. You have James Gregg. This is his first year he's ever been a head O-line coach. He's been an assistant, but in the NFL, this is the first time he's ever been a head O-line coach. You have AP's son, assistant coordinator. Assistant coordinator. This is his first year ever doing anything in the NFL or being around any kind of coaching. So, yeah, I mean, our coaches are just trash at this point. We don't have shit. We are actually sixth in picks. No, I thought all those teams lost today. The Carolina Panthers won. Carolina Panthers won. And 3 other teams that were in front of us won. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. I mean, it still shows we were 6 because that's what it was yesterday. But today, I do believe, I mean, pull it up, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe we are like second or third right now. Have you seen tape on Jackson Dart? Well, Mr. Dixon, I'm a Arkansas Razorback fan. So I just watched him drag my team through the mud yesterday. Like they were, like he was, like the whole team was hitched up to a trailer hitch on a jacked up truck, just dragging them through the mud. 61 to 31, 62, 64 to 31, some bullshit. Yes, I seen his 500 and something yards and his 5 touchdown performance against my Razorbacks. Thank you. Fucking thank you for reminding me that both of my teams suck ass. Appreciate it. Fucking appreciate it. Damn it. But yeah, Jackson Dart he's a dog, bro. He's feisty. He's got that fucking that ill intent character. He can spin the shit out of the ball. The only thing I don't like is I believe he's only like 6 foot, and those those smaller dudes scare me. Like it's another Gardner Minshew. You have to get out of the pocket in the NFL to throw the ball. Nah, you're good, bro. I was just fucking with you. But fucking when you're 6 foot, like I don't know. A lot of these small guys, 6 foot, 6'1", even 6'2" nowadays in the NFL, they just don't cut it because they have to be in shotgun all the time to see over the offensive linemen because these fuckers are so big. You got big ass tree trunks out there, 6'8", 320 pounds. It's hard for these smaller quarterbacks to see over them. So, I mean, yeah, if you have, if you bring in Lane Kiffin as your offensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders, and people are gonna fucking probably try to pull my fucking Vegas Raider card or my Raider card because I said the name Lane Kiffin. But I mean, look what Lane Kiffin's doing with Jackson Dart right now. And I know Lane Kiffin was trash when he was coach of the Raiders, but he was also 31 or 32 years old. Should have never got the job. It was crazy as hell. But the guy he learned the football from is one of the best to ever do that shit. So, I mean, I don't know. I think Lane Kiffin is doing a crazy ass job right now with Ole Miss and Jackson Dart, and that team and that offense is just rolling. So, maybe Lane Kiffin might get a phone call and get another offensive coordinator job in the NFL. I wouldn't have him as head coach, but it could work. If you get that's what I'm saying. You got to have a coordinator that's innovative. Kind of like the hell. What's the offensive coordinator in Arizona right now? Raiders Allegiance, salute. What's good, my guy? But I think there's a quarterback seeing over 6'8" linemen. Right? No, but when you're 6'3" or 6'4", it helps. It helps. You only got to take 3-5 step drop. You don't have to take a 7-step drop, or you don't have to be in a shotgun and still take a 3-step drop to see over your lineman, right? So that's all I was getting at. But I like Jackson Dart. I just think you need an innovative offensive coordinator that can scheme plays for him to roll out of the pocket, to get out of the pocket, to make plays, an RPO, read options, play action. But you got to have an offensive coordinator that can do that shit. And thank God we got rid of Luke Getsy. Raiders Allegiance, what's good? What do you think about Luke Getsy getting the boot? Jackson Dart, remember the name, right? I mean, yeah. Dixon, have you really watched tape on Jackson Dart? Are you just saying that because your boy Wasted Talent says it all the time? I'm just saying. I'm just fucking with you, my guy. No, but Jackson Dart, like, I mean, he's mobile as shit. He's got great pocket presence. He's got good mechanics. There's a lot of quarterbacks in this draft. Drew Alar out of Penn State. I know Penn State just got whooped by Ohio State, but that has to do with, personnel. But quarterback wise, I mean, he's a big boy, 6'4", 6'5", whatever he is. Got a strong ass arm. Nah, I totally wasted about him. I know. Hey, the kid was good last year, bro. I'm glad he didn't come out, though. I said it wouldn't happen this morning. Head coach and O-line gone too. Oh, quarterback coach and O-line gone too. What? So they got rid of James Gregg, Scangarello, and Luke Getsy. Oh shit! They fucking clean house. So that tells me that AP might be back next year, which I don't really know how I feel about that. I mean, come on, the man did call a timeout when we had a chance in this game again with 4 minutes. With 4 minutes, bro. 4 minutes left in the game, and he calls a timeout. What the fuck was that timeout for? That was the stupidest shit I ever seen in my life. Well, breaking news. Shout out to Lunatic Raider who says not only has Luke Getsy got the boot, but also James Gregg and Rick Scangarello have got their papers. Got your papers. I knew AP was going to be safe due to Luke Getsy's sabotaging game plan. Come on, man. You think Luke Getsy was sabotaging Antonio Pierce? Look, if anybody, and I mean anybody, is sabotaging Antonio Pierce, it's got to be the guy he got fired in San Diego, right? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying any names, but if anybody's trying to sabotage anybody's season, that would be my guess. Who else we got at quarterback? Who else you guys like? The fuck is that dude? Ruick, the Canadian dude out of Penn State. I like that. Not out of Penn State. I mean, out of Indiana. I know he's hurt. He's got a broken thumb right now, but man, that kid, he's got a good ass arm too. There's a small quarterback in Army. He's doesn't have a great arm. I mean, he's pretty accurate, but they don't really throw the ball downfield. They run a lot of RPOs, and he runs the shit out of the ball. I think the dude's got like 1,000 yards rushing already. But he's a solid ass mean little quarterback. I mean, I'd take a chance on that dude like 6th or 7th round just to see what you got, right? I would have kept Minshew and Luke Getsy for the remainder of the season. I mean, yeah, if you're trying to lose and get a first-round draft pick, because, like I said, now's not the time to fire these guys when when we have nothing to play for. Like maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when we played a bunch of these shitty-ass teams that we could have beat, that we should have beat, that would have been the time to pull the plug. But, I mean, now, now, I mean, for one, you put Scott Turner in a shitty-ass position, right? Because you're not going to have a job next year. And you got to come in and do your best to call an offense and make a team look better and try to win games that nobody in the building wants to win. Like, the coach doesn't want to win. The damn fucking, the owner doesn't want to win. Nobody wants to win games right now. Like, why would they want to win games? That's pointless. It's pointless to win just for pride. I mean, just to maybe you can still play the games and not win and see what you have for next year and evaluate the 21 free agents that we have coming up that are on the roster right now. 21 free agents is a lot of free agents. That's half of our offense and defense. Like, so, I mean, J-Dog, what's good? Appreciate you pulling up. Yes, sir. Fired Luke Getsy. Also fired James Gregg, O-line coach, and Rick Scangarello, offensive or quarterback coach. That's according to my guy, Raiders Allegiance in the building. Tom Brady does not want to win because he wants a quarterback. That's what I'm saying. Like, so I'm saying, nobody in the building wants to win right now. And you put whoever's taking over the offensive line, you know, whoever's taking over, if Scott Turner's taking over offensive coordinating or play calling duties, I mean, come on. How many times in the NFL do you get an opportunity like this to take over play calling in the NFL for an NFL franchise? Like, it's insane, bro. It's absolutely insane for somebody to get their dream because his daddy was a head coach, his daddy was an offensive coordinator. I'm sure it's been Scott Turner's dream to be an offensive coordinator in the NFL, and now he gets the chance for half a season to call somebody else's playbook. But does it really matter if you win games or if you don't win games? Because you're probably not going to have a job next year. And if you win games or if you call plays that help us win games, like, I mean, shit, people are going to hate you anyways because we won games and nobody wants to win right now. So for Scott Turner, that's a horrible position to be in. You finally get your dream job and you're in a tight spot, a tight spot, because of course you're going to do whatever you can to call the best plays to make yourself look good. So maybe somebody else, holy shit, y'all hear that thunder? Hopefully somebody else gives you a job and opportunity if it's not with the Raiders, right? But the Raiders kept Scott Turner around for a reason. He was brought in with Dick Daniels and Dick Daniels' system, and they kept the dude around. So there's a reason they haven't got rid of him. And they fired most of the staff last year and kept Scott Turner around, right? We're not terrible from top to bottom, bro. We have a lot of good key pieces on this team right now. I mean, look, I can name them for you if you want. We have Max Crosby. We have Adam Butler. We have Wilkins, who is hurt. We have Malcolm Kuntz. I mean, those five guys right there are enough to build a team around. And then you have guys like Moreg, who's been playing his ass off this, the second half of since like the week 4. That man stepped it up ever since ever since Epps got hurt. Trayvon Morrig has stepped it up. He's been physical. He's been tackling. You got Robert Spillane. You got Nate Hobbs. You got a solid number 1 corner, possibly, in Jacorian Bennett. You have Paul Amalu, who's come in. I mean, dude, we have a lot of fucking key pieces. A lot of key pieces. This team ain't bad. It's not bad. Anybody that tells you this team is bad, they're fucking haters, bro, and they're lying. This is not a bad football team. It's a bad coached football team, and it's a football team that's down on themselves right now. It's a football team that has guys that don't tackle, that hurt. When you have a guy like Robert Spillane, who's probably the slowest guy on your defense, who has more tackles, double the tackles than anybody else on your defense. I mean, that's bad, and it's not just the personnel. It's putting the right personnel on the field with the other guys. LVR, what's good, my guys? So it's not a bad football team. I mean, look at our offensive line, bro. We do have Colton Miller, who is pretty damn close, if not a Pro Bowl caliber, a Pro Bowl caliber tackle most of his career. Not this year, definitely not this year. Then you got JPJ, which he can play center. He can play left guard, I'm sure. He can play right guard. You can move Jackson Powers Johnson anywhere you want to. Then you have DJ Glaze, who everybody said was a reach and wasn't going to be shit, who's balling out. That's three key components to an offensive line that most teams, when they're drafting a number one quarterback or they're drafting in the top five, don't have any of the components that the Las Vegas Raiders have right now. And granted, like I just said, Raider Ryan, what's good? You know, like I was just talking about, we have 21 free agents. That's a big, big problem. But we have the money to keep them, right? So we can keep the guys that we need to keep and then replace the guys that aren't cutting it and put those guys at depth, right? Because we have starters that we don't have to let go. We still have young starters that are still on rookie deals. We have guys, you know, that we brought in on 3-year contracts that aren't making a lot of money, like Jacoby Myers. 11 million is not really a lot to, you know, to pay that guy a year. So we have a lot of guys that aren't getting overpaid, that aren't being, you know, ridiculously overpaid, that are a lot of key pieces to a puzzle that a lot of teams don't have starting out. I mean, we're just missing a couple things right now. We're just missing an offensive line to be healthy, for one, and figure out who it's going to be. We might not even need offensive line right now. We just need them get time to gel and figure out who it's going to be. You can't have a revolving door of an offensive line constantly. Every game there's a new guard, a new center. Well, not a new center, but I mean, we've had 4 different left tackles. We've had 3 different right tackles. We've had 4 different left guards. We've had 4 different right guards. I mean, 2 centers. It's hard to evaluate what we need at this point. But maybe, just maybe, after this bye week, we can get healthy, we can get some consistency, and then we can see where we stand, how many pieces we really need, and who we need to see, you know, bring back and who we need to let go. But I don't think this team is bad. Like, you know, AP said the team was bad. There's a lot of content creators that say this team is bad. There's a lot of reporters that say this is just a bad team. But, bro, I've been watching football my whole life, been involved in it, coached in it, played in it, and there's talent on this team. It's just not fucking put together right. Like, you got to have, I guarantee you, if Harbaugh came in, and I was one of those dudes that was like, fuck Jim Harbaugh, hire AP. I was wrong. I've been wrong before. But if Harbaugh came into this team last year, this team would be a whole different team. I promise you, with Minshew, with Aiden O'Connell, it wouldn't have mattered. Harbaugh would have had this team disciplined and had an offensive scheme built around the players he had. And that was our problem. We're not building the team, the offense around the players, you know, strengths. We're not building shit around the players' strengths. The players' strengths, the offensive strengths, every strength was to have a pocket to stand in the quarterback, because that's what it did last year, and that's what we were continuing doing the offseason. And then at the last minute, they were like, nope, let's go with this guy because we're paying him way too money. Our offensive line is shitty and he's mobile. Well, all that was just all horrible decisions. So it's not a bad team, bro. We're not a bad team. We have a lot more good players than a lot of teams in the NFL do. The difference is they have coaches that get the best out of their guys. And right now, we don't have that. We do not have that. Tom Brady wants to win now, but glad we didn't wait 2 years. Do we keep Graham? Bro, at this point, I mean, that's a good question, but I know a lot of people love Patrick Graham. I've just never been on that Patrick Graham train. The only hype that I ever was like, Patrick Graham is the man, is last year when AP took over and this defense was fired up. We were, you know, not stopping the run, but we were doing the best we'd had in a long time against the run. We were good in pass coverage. You know, he was constantly mixing up his schemes, and teams didn't know where we're coming. But this year, It's just like he was the first year when he was coaching with us. Like everybody, it seems like every offensive coordinator has his number. So if it was me, no, I would fire AP. I would fire Patrick Graham. And I mean, if you can't find a good head coach or nobody to coach, shit. If it was me, I would fire AP right now. I would have already fired him with Luke Getsy, and I would have handed the reins to Patrick Graham for the rest of the season and say, look, we all know you were interviewed for head coaching jobs and you didn't get it for a reason. Let's give you a chance to be a head coach for the rest of the season. Maybe if it's not going to be with us, but maybe it'll, make teams say, hey, this guy took over a team that was trash and, he's a defensive guy and he started winning. And maybe Patrick Graham will get a head coaching job somewhere because the man's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant mind. But I just think with all the things going on with Marvin Lewis there, I think they're clashing with what's going on in defense. I think there's too much clashing going on with a lot of these guys and a lot of these coaches. There's too many, too many chiefs, too many chiefs, too many opinions. And I think everybody's, too many egos in the building. So to answer your question shortly, no, I would fire Patrick Graham. Like, I would get rid of Patrick Graham, and only because, you got guys like Robert Salah who, just got fired from the Jets. In my opinion, is a way better defensive coordinator than Patrick Graham. That's just me talking. But if you look at his track record and you look at Patrick Graham's track record, dude, Robert Salah is a way better defensive coordinator. So when you got guys like that out there and guys like Belichick, which I'm sure he's probably not going to be a defensive coordinator, but Drabel, I mean, there's a lot of defensive guys out there. So no, I would clean house, bro. I would clean house. The only person I would keep on this staff is Rob Leonard. That's it. Because the defense, the defensive line hasn't even been doing that great either this year. Max Crosby hasn't done that good. Nobody's really. I mean, Adam Butler has been pretty much one of the biggest stars on the defensive line. So I don't know. I don't know what it is with this team, man. I don't know. But if Patrick Graham, I just don't see him being here at the end of this year just because he got, head coaching offers last year. And there's a lot of bad teams in the NFL right now. And he'll probably get head coaching offers. So I don't think you'll have to fire him. I think he'll go somewhere else. I don't think he's going to stay here. I wanted to fire. We need a new OC and head. What I want, I need an OC and a head coach to develop a quarterback. Well, let me ask you this, Dixon Sider, who is this? Who is this head coach and offensive coordinator you have in mind? Because if you want a new OC and a new head coach, and you're the owner of the team, right? You got to have somebody in mind. You got to have at least 5 guys you want to interview, right? I mean, you're the GM and the head coach. Who's your 5 OCs and head coaches you're bringing in, to change this team around, to develop your quarterback? Who is the number one guy you would want to bring in to develop your quarterback? Maybe the Scott Turner tanked the team for McDaniels. Bro, I'm not going to lie, I've laid in bed awake, trying to sleep at night. I don't know how many nights, thinking all kinds of scenarios like that, like the whole Tom Telesco thing with Antonio Pierce, Tom Brady being brought in the building, got beat by Antonio Pierce in the Super Bowl. Like, these are things that go through my crazy ass old mind, bro. Like, so yes, I think all kinds of shit like that could happen. Scott Turner was left here for a reason. I mean, dude, how loyal is he to Dick Daniels? Who knows, bro? But I know Dick Daniels did get paid a whole hell of a lot of money. What, $100 million for 2 years or $60 million? I'm sure he got some money to pay somebody. Fucking who knows? There's no loyalty with anybody, and he knows, bro. No loyalty with anybody. We are what our record says we are. I don't think we. No, I don't. I don't believe that to be true, bro. I don't believe this team is what our record is. You want to know why? First off, we have 26 fucking sacks. 26 sacks. That is not because of the offensive line. I've already done study after study after study, and I still got a whole lot more sacks to go through. But so far, like 80% of them are not sacks from the offensive line. It's from a quarterback being scared like a chicken with his head cut off, a deer in the headlights, and panicking every time offense gets anywhere, the defense gets anywhere near him. And he did it twice today before they pulled him out of the game. Dude had pump faked, was going to throw the ball, decided not to, and then looked, and then was going to run, and then started like not to run, and then by then he was already sacked. Like the decision making is trash. So I can't sit here like you and say this team is what their record says they are, bro. I don't believe that. I believe this team is what their coaching staff, what this coaching staff has coached them to be. I mean, bro, we have almost 100 missed tackles. We've only had 400 tackles this year. That's a third of our tackles we've missed. And that's Robert Spillane. That's Max Crosby. Max Crosby has more missed tackles than anybody, and most of them are on quarterbacks. Like, so this team is way, way better than their record. Way better than their record. Christmas is here early. Shelton game manager, coach, next coach. Bye, Felicia. Right? Bye, Felicia. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Getsy fired. End of the year. We got to get real hate. Head coach. Get me Gruden or Belichick. Man, I don't know. I'm not on board on either one of those. I'm that dude where if I'm in a relationship and I end that shit, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. Like, we did that. It didn't work. No second chances. Hell no. Like, we can try, but once we say it's over, it's fucking over. And Gruden is like herpes. The shit just don't go away. You can take all the medicine you want, but the shit's just gonna keep coming back. So no, I'm not good with bringing Gruden in for the third time. I mean, if it happens, of course I'm gonna be on board with it because I'm a Raiders fan, and I have no choice but to root for the shit. But no, I'm not waiting for Gruden to come in and trade Max Crosby and trade Christian Wilkins and trade Nate Hobbs and trade all these guys like he did last time, Khalil Mack and Mari Cooper. And nah, bro, nah. I'm not doing that shit again. So I'm out on Gruden. Belichick, I'm tired of the Patriot way. We already have Tom Brady as part owner, and I can't sit here and be like, yes, yes, bring in Belichick. I mean, no, he's not an offensive coordinator. He's a defensive guy. So if you brought him in as defensive coordinator, I mean, I'd be cool with that. But Belichick's ego's not going to be cool with that. His pride's not going to be cool with that. So I respect the enthusiasm, my boy. We are 2-7. I know we're 2-7, but like I said, 26 sacks by your quarterback. 80% of them are him running into him. He also has 8 touchdowns and 14 fucking interceptions with 2 fumbles. One for a touchdown. He has a fumble for a touchdown, an interception for a touchdown. The dude only has 6 touchdowns himself, and he's given up 2. So, come on. That's not this team. We were in every one of these games, and I've done film breakdown. You never show up when I do What's on Film on Thursdays, but I do live film breakdown every Thursday to show why we lose these games and how we could have won them and why we should have been competing in every one of these fucking games. And every game we should have won. Really, we could have won every one of these games. Now the Carolina game got away early, but at the half we were still in there. Like we were still in it at the half. We still had every opportunity to come down and score before the end of the half. We've been beat 46 to 6 in the last 2 minutes of the half, whether it be the half or the end of the game. Just not even the end of the game. That's right, not even the end of the game. That's a whole nother category, which is way even higher. But in the first half of the game, the last 2 minutes of the first half, we've been outscored 46 to 6. You can't tell me that's players, bro. You can't tell me that's this team. That's shit ass coaching. That's bad decisions. That's not taking chances. We've had ample opportunities to go down and score with plenty of time left on the clock, and they run the ball, take a knee, go to the half. So it's coaching, bro. It's coaching. There's a reason Getsy's fired. There's a reason James Gray got fired. There's a reason Scangarello got fired. Coaching. Brady must have sent Davis a message to fire Luke Getsy. That's what somebody else said. He must have got on the phone and said fire him. But I believe he's got a game to do, so he probably was not. Now only if Brady can tell Mark Davis to fire AP, we can get this guy Belichick. What? Or go get most of the Raider. Or go get the most Raider coach in Gruden. Bro, let's move on from Gruden. Let's forget about Belichick unless he's really the last option. I know he's a brilliant football mind. I know he'd probably do crazy things with Max Crosby, pause if necessary. But there's no. I want a young, innovative head coach. Somebody like a Ben Johnson, somebody like a Sloviak, even the coordinator in Minnesota. What the hell is his name? I mean, somebody with these guys have an offense that puts points on the board, that can run the ball. Then the team will ruin our top pick. I'm with you 100% on that, Raider Ryan. 100%. We have good players, but we are not a good football team. Yes, because we're poorly coached. We are a poorly shit-ass coached football team, and that starts with your head coach, number one. Your head coach brings in his coaches, always. A head coach picks his staff. He's horrible at picking his staff. He's horrible at head coaching. He wasn't even good in college at coaching. I mean, fuck. Look at our linebackers. Our linebackers were ass, except for Robert Spillane. We had the worst linebacking core the 2 years that he was there coaching. So AP is not that dude, bro. I was wrong on AP. We need to move on. But we need to get somebody different than Belichick. I was saying Belichick is Brady's guy. We got Gruden because he knows the team in 2021. The team was Gruden. Yeah, I mean, I know all Gruden's history, and I know Belichick, but Belichick and Tom Brady don't get along. I don't know where people keep getting this scenario that fucking Tom Brady and Belichick are like buddy. You've seen at the roast, like, to do talk shit. They're not friends off the football field, and they're not friends on the football field. Tom Brady left and went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because of Bill Belichick. It wasn't because of the Patriots. It wasn't because they were stuck in. It wasn't because they were ass. It was because of Bill Belichick. Why the fuck would he want to hire Bill Belichick to come in and run the Raiders when he's minority owner? It doesn't make no sense, bro. It doesn't make no sense. Hate to be negative, man. I truly do. No, you're not negative. You're just speaking your mind, bro. Like, I feel you. And I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I don't believe Well, I guess I'm disagreeing with you, but I'm saying I just don't believe we're a bad team. I'm saying like this team was a good team last year, right? We didn't change much. We got a better defensive lineman. We got a shittier quarterback. We got a shittier running back. And we got a couple of younger corners that, should be able to take Amik Robinson's place. So where are we falling off? We upgraded the offensive line tremendously in getting rid of Jermaine Illuminor. Maybe not Van Rotten because he would have played way better at left guard than than Whitehair has. But, I mean, come on. My DL staff would be John Gruden with Robert Saleh as DC. I would take Robert Saleh as DC in a minute. And I'm sure whoever is trying to be the head coach or whoever they're trying to be the head coach will be on the phone trying to get that man too. But on the other hand, I mean, Patrick Graham, he's a decent DC, but he's just been getting cooked this year, bro. Like, this team is bad on defense. It's bad. It's bad. Too many cooks in the kitchen, maybe. Oh, that's definitely, bro. Definitely. Too many Chiefs and not enough Indians, for sure, bro. Davis letting everyone know we don't have time for this BS. J-Dog in the building. What's good, buddy? Yeah, but it's week 9. It's week 9. He's a little bit late at letting everybody know that, right? Oh, come on. Don't be dead. Piece of shit. What the fuck? Well, there goes that. Maybe a OC can look at Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy's never going to be that guy. Hey, throw me one of them orange drinks over there. Huh?
Fucking lazy.
No, I'm running live. I can't get up.
I know, I'm watching.
But yeah, I don't think fucking the hell was I saying? Oh, I don't think Eric Bieniemy is ever going to be anything for the Raiders. Now I don't know if it's true, but supposedly an Raider alumni's daughter had something to do with Eric Bieniemy, and it didn't go too good. And this is a once a Raider, always a Raider, who's always around, family's always around. And it would just be a bad idea. That's just what I've been told. Well, Getsy fired now. Scott Turner should be next play caller. Scott Turner is, from what I hear, Scott Turner is projected to be the next offensive coordinator, play caller, whatever you want to call it. Gruden only traded Mack because he didn't want to come to the facility and short his contract. No, Gruden traded Mack because it wasn't his pick, and he wants to rebuild the team his way because that man has one of the biggest fucking egos out of anybody I've ever seen. And you could say he doesn't, but you got that small man complex, in my opinion. And look, I like Gruden, but when you go to Tampa Bay and you win a Super Bowl against a team that you're coaching against, and you know the playbook, and you just run that shit in the ground, and then you try to come back, like, man, and then then you do some stupid shit and get fired, and you try to come back again. Tony Angel was good, my brother. Appreciate you. We got to move on from Gruden, bro. Yes, he's a great coach, but look, this team had horrible fucking draft picks with John Gruden and Mike Mayock. Now, I think Mike Mayock is a way better general manager without John Gruden because John Gruden was hired and picked Mayock. So just like Dick Daniels with the whole C.J. Stroud thing, which I was saying earlier, you have to hire your general manager, and your general manager has to pick your head coach, but you have to hire a general manager that knows how to pick a head coach. Tom Telesco doesn't know how to pick head coaches. That's a fact, which is why they hired Antonio Pierce and then hired Tom Telesco. But to fucking change this franchise around, we need a general manager that knows how to evaluate talent, knows how to evaluate coaches, a coaching staff, like a Belichick. Now, I could see 100% Bill Belichick taking over general manager and Tom Telesco being fired. I would be good with that. That would be good. Because you have a guy like Belichick who has coached in the NFL, who is a defensive-minded coach, who would get us a damn good defense, a damn good defensive coordinator, and he knows talent. He knows what he wants his offense to look like and how he wants his offense to run. And AP, after week 9 and 7 or 9 games last week, is still trying to find what he wants his identity to be and what he wants his team to look like. So I think Belichick at general manager would be a great idea. I don't know why I didn't think of it before, but I could rock with that. Because then he'd probably get Vrabel or, somebody in here that's a player coach that knows what the hell he's doing. And maybe he would even keep AP. I mean, Belichick and AP might have a relationship we don't know about. I mean, shit. Who knows at this point? What's up, Tatted Raiderette? If we hire him as AC, what? The Ducks head coach is good. There's not too many times, college offensive coordinators or college head coaches come up to the NFL and, and do good. It's a totally different ball game. You have way more intelligent defensive coordinators. You have guys that have been defensive coordinators in the league for just fucking a long, long time that really know football. And it's just way faster. It's way different. So, I mean, it works. It has worked. It's worked plenty of times. I mean, look at Cliff Kingsbury, right? He was a offensive coordinator in college. Then he was, quarterback coach. Then he was a head coach. Then he was back to an offensive coordinator in college again. And now he's back to an offensive coordinator in the NFL. So they're tearing it up in Washington right now. So, yeah, I mean, 100%. You could get, head coaches from college. But if we're going that route, like I said, I wouldn't mind giving Lane Kiffin another shot at OC. Yes, he was a head coach. Yes, he wasn't great. But the man is older now. He's been in football a hell of a lot longer. And he's working wonders in Ole Miss with Jackson Dart. And, if you could get a Lane Kiffin to come over and run that, that high-powered fucking air assault offense with his quarterback and pick up a Jackson Dart, I'd be 100% down with that. I'm watching your stream while streaming on my other channel. Well, good for you, Tatted Raiderette. Fucking pull up. Come pull up here. What young college coach is worth trying out at the OC if we're keeping AP? I mean, if we're keeping Antonio Pierce, you have to go get a young college coach because, like I said, no self-respecting offensive coordinator is going to come in and work with a guy like Antonio Pierce that has no experience and doesn't know what the fuck he's doing and doesn't know how to game manage, doesn't know what quarterback he wants for whatever he's trying to do, doesn't know what kind of running backs he wants for whatever style he's doing. So, like I said, Lane Kiffin, the head coach from, dude, anybody that's winning right now, the offensive coordinator from Texas, I'd like the Texas Longhorns, I think, have a solid-ass run game. They have a good passing game. I can't remember the dude's name right now. I don't know a lot of coaches' names. Fuck Bobby Petrino out of Arkansas. That dude is a brilliant offensive coordinator. He always has crazy schemes. He always has a damn good run game. And 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 a quarterback that throws the ball downfield. Every one of his quarterbacks, you know, Bobby Petrino's coach guys like Lamar Jackson, a couple of quarterbacks that played for the Razorbacks, Ryan Mallett, Tyler, the fuck is his name? Played for the Raiders. Tyler, shit, I don't know. But anyways, you know, Bobby Petrino's a brilliant mind, but he just got hired back to the Razorbacks. I don't know if you could pull him away. I think he had a stint in the NFL, if I do recall. So, I don't know. I kind of like Boise State's offense. They have a solid ass run game. Their quarterback's not great, but they have a decent, a solid ass passing game for what little weapons they have. Ohio State's head coach, they always have a great offensive line. They always have a good running game. I mean, there's a lot of college coaches you can bring up to be an offensive coordinator. But are you going to be able to pay them enough as an OC what they're making in college right now with the NIL and all that shit? I don't know. That's another huge question, right? I don't trust Scott Turner because he died his daddy from head coach. What? He died his daddy from head coach. Oh, got you. I don't trust Scott Turner because he fired his daddy from head coach. I mean, look, I respect the shit out of that, actually. I mean, if you're fucking, whether it's your daddy, your girlfriend, your mom, your cousin, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, or your butt buddy, if they're not doing their job, I mean, shit, and you have the power to fire them or get rid of them, then, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? Sometimes you got to look out for number one, and number one should always be you first, right? If you ain't looking out for you, who's going to look out for you? So, I don't remember the scenario of Scott Turner and his daddy. I kind of starting to bring some of that shit back, but I don't know exactly what happened. I have to look it up and remember. But if that's the case, his daddy was getting old. I mean, when he was in Vegas, or when he was a Raiders coach, why did I say Vegas? When he was the Raiders head coach or offensive coordinator and coach, I was like, bro, your time has come, my guy. You're great at the West Coast offense throwing the ball downfield. So hopefully Scott Turner, learned a lot from his father and can get this team turned around. But like I said, do we really want it turned around at this point? I don't think he could do enough to turn it around where he's going to get an OC job next year. I just don't see that happening. If Jackson darts second round, should we draft a top receiver or the Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty? Ashton Jeanty, 100,000 fucking %, no question about it. And I would even go as far as saying, fuck a quarterback in the first round and go get that kid. Because quarterback, you can hit or miss, right? Running back, you can hit or miss too. But when there's a running back that's breaking records that have stood in college for 20, 30, 40 years, like, you can't pass on guys like that. You just can't pass on guys like that. And that's me. If I was the owner of a franchise or if I was the head coach, you could get by, right? You could draft a quarterback in the second round this year, the third round this year, and draft a quarterback in the first round next year, right? If it doesn't work out, you can get a free agent and make it work for a year or two and build a team around that running back as you build your offensive line. So, I mean, yeah, If your quarterback's not there and there's not somebody you're sold on, selling the house for to go get, bro, I would definitely go get a Ashton Genty or what the hell's that kid's name from Miami, the one that just broke Marvin Harrison's record and who else? Michael Irvin, with Chad Johnson, somebody like yeah, that fool just broke. That kid just broke a lot of records. But then again, like I said, all those quarterbacks didn't have a guy like like Cam Ward throwing them the ball. So like I said, there's a couple of guys in college that if you could get them away from their head coaching job, but it's hard nowadays to get guys from the college level with the NIL and the money they're making there to come just be an offensive coordinator. And it's really hard to have a college, head coach come up in the NFL and be that guy that he was in college. I mean, we've seen with what the hell was the LSU's coach? Damn, I'm trying to get out of that sun. I'm fucking light, son. What the hell, Wes Meyer? We've seen Wes Meyer come up from LSU, coach the Jacksonville Jaguars, get fired right away. LSU was one of those dominating teams. Maybe we could get a guy like, what the hell's the Alabama's coach that just retired? Maybe you could talk that dude into fucking coming and trying to be a head coach in the NFL. I mean, that's something I would definitely think about. I'd be getting on the phone trying to get that fool from Alabama and be like, look, you were dominating in college for fucking many decades. Come to the NFL and see if you could do that same shit, right? Build your legacy here. I don't know. There's not many options when it comes to head coaching or when it comes to offensive coordinators. Like, all the good offensive coordinators are taken. That's why we ended up with Luke Getsy, right? That's the whole reason why we ended up with Luke Getsy in the first place. Clint Kubiak said, fuck that. I'm going to work with Derek Carr because I know he's a good quarterback, and y'all got Gardner Minshew, and I'm not trying to fuck with that. What am I going to do with Gardner Minshew? Damn, you see that lightning? And then you got, Cliff Queefberry, who pretty much said, I'll be y'all's coach. And then was like, nah, I can't be y'all's coach. Fucking, I'm going to go to a coach where I have a second round pick. And I get to pick my quarterback and groom my quarterback. So there's not a lot of choices out there. Again, maybe Scott Turner, maybe they seen something in Scott Turner's, because he's been the passing game coordinator, right? The whole time. He was passing game coordinator last year. He was passing game coordinator this year, which I seen a bunch of plays where guys were open where we could make plays. But that's not the problem right now. The problem is the run game. But I think Scott Turner is going to do some crazy shit with Brock Bowers. Watch for Brock Bowers to have some big games, like 150, 200-yard games. As soon as we find out somebody to throw him the damn ball, right? Crazy-ass storm in Florida. No, I'm in Arkansas. We had tornado warnings last night, yesterday, today. Fucking lightning, 80-mile-an-hour winds. Shit's been crazy. Shit's been crazy. So what's everybody doing tonight? Y'all at work? Y'all gotta work in the morning? Did y'all think we had any chance in this game at any point? Fuck it. Because I thought when it was 10-10, I was like, oh shit, this could be a game. But, you know, Dixon, if you're still in here on your point of this is a bad team, bro, look, we were 10-10, right? We're going against the worst offensive line in the NFL because they have a rookie who's only played like 3 games going against Max Crosby, and they had Orlando Brown, one of the best. Holy shit, that was bright. Orlando Brown, one of the best left tackles or fucking right tackles and left tackles in the NFL, who was doubtful for the game, and we got no pressure, absolutely no pressure on the quarterback, and that's coaching, bro. That's absolutely coaching schemes. We were just out schemed again. I'm kind of hoping maybe that maybe the Los Angeles Rams keep losing, and maybe Sean McVay decides. Maybe they decide to move on from Sean McVay, or maybe we could talk to him in the offseason and get a coach like that. That's a brilliant quarterback coach, right? I mean, look what Sean McVay did with Matthew Stafford. Look what he's done with all these fools. So I think that shit would be fire. But I gotta get the hell off here. I gotta work in the morning. I gotta get up early. Couple hours. Hopefully the rain will stop. What else we got? You knew the Bengals had a solid squad. I mean, yeah, I know their record. I mean, that's another point for my guy in here, Dixon, who says, you know, the Raiders' record says how bad they are. I mean, just look at the Bengals' record. That's a good fucking team. They have one of the best, if not the best receiver in the NFL, in Jamar Chase. They were down Higgins. They were down their backup running back. They're down 2 offensive linemen, 3 offensive linemen. But they have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And when you have a best quarterback in the NFL, it doesn't matter if you got a guy that can escape, make plays with his feet when the pocket breaks down. But coaching, right? These guys had a guy in Denarius Mims, who granted was good in Alabama, but hasn't had much experience in the NFL, and came in and played his ass off against Max Crosby. And then on the other side, you had another fucking backup. But their offensive line coach and their coordinator had those guys prepared. They were ready to play. Our fucking guys aren't prepared. They're not ready to play. They don't know their blocking schemes. How many times have I done tape breakdown where you see Cody Whitehair standing like this with nobody around him? You're a fucking offensive lineman. Your job is to hit somebody. And if there's not somebody in front of you, you find somebody to hit. And I've seen guys standing there over and over again looking around like, which guy was I supposed to get? Why, the quarterback's already sacked. They're still looking for somebody. So that's coaching, bro. That's all coaching. This coaching staff has been just horrible all year. What's good, Leaky, my brother? What do you think about Luke Getsy being fired, James Gregg being fired, and Rick Scangarello supposedly all fired? Done. Vamonos. Happy trails to Luke Getsy, right? Yeah. Somebody else came in, Lunatic Raider came in and said they straight out they fired James Gregg, offensive lineman, and the quarterback coach. So Scangarello's gone too. I don't know who's taking over any of these duties, but from what I hear is Scott Turner will be taking over play calling duties. Right? They finally made a real business decision. except they still got AP there. What do you think about Antonio Pierce? Do you think Antonio Pierce deserves one more year? Do you think if somehow this offense turns it around and we start winning games? Shit, I got a lot of questions for you. Do you think if this offense turns around and we start winning games, that it makes a difference if AP stays this year or not? You think Tom Brady's scouting the coaches from where? Behind the scenes? Because if you look at all the rules they got on Tom Brady, he really can't do shit unless he gives up his job at Fox. He's not going to be involved in anything, bro. He can't be in the building. He can't evaluate talent. He's not going to be able to go to the combine. You're a majority owner, and I've looked into this shit over and over and over again. I've done all the research I can do, and everything I find says majority owners have this much say in an organization, in a franchise. They're not allowed at practices. They're not allowed to work with personnel. They're not allowed to do any of this shit. I'm not expecting anything from the interim OC. I'm just glad that bum got fired, right? When he should have been a long time ago. I mean, facts, but I think they should have just let it play out at the season, because at least we had a chance for a high draft pick, right? With his offense, this team is trash. No matter who the quarterback is, we're constantly losing games that we should win. So that just shows me that them firing everybody, that they are trying to win games. And AP is fighting for his job for the rest of the season. Tom Brady's not allowed to do shit. He's not. Fox has stipulations on everything, and unless he quits his job at Fox, then he can have a little bit more say. But then, even then, he's not allowed to do shit. I mean, Mark Davis can bring him around, I guess, as a guest, but he still can't have. He can't be at the combine evaluating players. They might be able to send him tape and say, "Hey, can you check out the tape on this guy and tell me what you see in him?" But other than that, he's doing the same thing he was doing before he was the majority owner. He's in Mark Davis's ear. That's all he could do. He could tell Mark Davis what he thinks about players, what he thinks about coaches. You know, he can be up in the booth during games if he's not at a game, calling a game, which most of the time I'm sure he's calling a game somewhere, so he's not even going to be at any of our games watching to see how shitty or good we are. So they're blowing it out of proportion. Like, yes, he can evaluate quarterbacks because he knows Shador Schrader or Sanders. He's been coaching the guy and working with him since 2020 or 2018. But other than that, he don't know any of the other quarterbacks, and Fox doesn't allow him to talk to players, to work with players, to interview players. So how's he gonna fucking talk to any of these kids in the combine? It's not gonna happen. It's not. Tom Brady ain't doing shit, bro. He became minority owner, basically, just to be minority owner, because he could have did all the shit he's doing now when he wasn't owner. Probably he had more say when he wasn't owner than he can say now, because at least when he wasn't owner, Mark Davis could bring him in to practice anytime he wants to evaluate people. Now that's not the case. He can't do that shit because he works for Fox. So you can't talk to other teams. You can't talk to players for other teams. You can't interview coaches. You can't do nothing. And I'm sure it won't be long before Fox is just like, bro, we can't do this because it's just too many conflicts of interest, right? Running back coach needs to be next. Dude, I'm with you 100%. Get Cadillac Williams the fuck up out of here. But really, they just need to, don't half-step it, right? Don't half-step it. If you're going to fucking fire somebody, don't point the finger at one guy and Luke Getsy, because it's not all Luke Getsy's fault. there has been times where this offense has looked very good with a shit quarterback and a shit offense, but we have no run game. So that's definitely on the offensive line coach. That's definitely on the running back coach. And they all need to go, in my opinion. This whole staff. Like, there's nobody on this staff, like I said, besides Rob Leonard, the defensive line coach, that I would keep right now. And maybe Luke Steckel. I like Luke Steckel, what he's done with the tight ends, because the man's had 5 or 6 different tight ends working with this year, and they're constantly open. They just don't have a quarterback to throw them the ball. So, yeah, I'm down with firing Cadillac Williams. I'm down with, Joe Philbon, all of them, bro. Just get clean house. But hopefully Philbon will take over, quarterback quarterback coaching duties, because that man's been around football for a long time. He knows offensive lines. He knows quarterbacks. He knows, shit, there's not a position he doesn't know. So, but then that's back to the same old question that I've been asking all night. Like, if this helps us win games, fucking, what good's it gonna do? And if we're starting to win games, do they literally just throw games? Yeah, it's just clean house. Because I think you have a better shot of continuing to lose games the rest of the season if you clean house. But then, no, I take that back. You can't clean house. You can't clean house until the end of the season, because you can't bring in a whole new staff and then fire them at the end of the year. You're not going to bring in a whole new staff that knows they're going to lose their job at the end of the year. They're not going to perform up to their ability, right? What if Gronk is our next OC? It's hilarious that you said that. There is a player that I think could be our next offensive coordinator that was a Patriot, that is very, very good friends with Tom Brady, and I think would be a fucking damn good offensive coordinator. He is, I think, the passing game coordinator right now for somewhere. And his name, y'all want to know his name? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you want to know his name. Come on, there's 8 people in here. Can I get 8 thumbs up? Help me out. Get me in the algorithm. Show love. Y'all don't want to know his name? We gave AP too much credit after he won against Kansas City. MAMR, 100%, bro. I am 100% with that. Julian Edelman is not it. It is Wes Welker. It is Wes Welker. How come I only get one person throwing thumbs up and it's my mod? Oh, that's not a thumbs up. That's a fuck you. Why you flipping me off? That's some bullshit. But yeah, let's touch on that. I think I gave AP too much credit after the Kansas City. And if you don't believe me, go to my channel and click on videos and scroll down. There's a video in there with Antonio Pierce. It was the header of my channel forever. On Christmas Day, doing his interview, I said, "Welcome the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders." And sure enough, I was right. He was the head coach. But fuck, I thought just because he won that game and he came in, beat Kansas City, he changed the culture around, he had everybody fired up, ready to run through a brick wall. I was on board with AP, I'm not gonna lie. I was one of those dudes that said, hire AP. It's the best thing to do. But when you have players like Max Crosby saying he don't want to be here no more, if they don't bring him back, Spillane went to bat for him. It doesn't matter now because he's not here, but Devontae went to bat for him. So for all those reasons, and the fact that he's straight out of Compton, a Raider for life, he grew up a Raiders fan and wanted to change this organization. I bought into that shit. And obviously, obviously, that's not it, bro. He wasn't it. Like, maybe an assistant, they should have, you know, if they thought he had a chance to be, they could have said, hey, let's talk to the team. What if we make him the assistant head coach and he still gets everybody ready to run through a brick wall and fired up to play? But y'all listen to this fucker that's a head coach that knows what the hell he's doing. I think it would have been a better scenario. But again, they never interviewed Harbaugh. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh, Jim Harbaugh should have been the coach." It was never even a talk about Jim Harbaugh, except for the fans and the media. Mark Davis never called him for an interview. It was never even a question. So the Harbaugh thing wasn't ever a scenario. And what coaches do we have out there? I mean, they brought who'd they bring in to interview? I don't even remember who they brought in to interview. Some dude that hasn't coached in forever, and oh, Hugh Douglas. The fuck is that his name? That would have been a fucking. They should have made him offensive coordinator, bro. At least he was 8-8 as a head coach with a shit ass team. Hire Brian Flores. I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Did you see him getting thrown around today like a motherfucker ragdoll? Oh, Max Crosby? Yeah, I seen him getting thrown all over the place, bro. Bill O'Brien. That that might be a very interesting name. Shit, I wouldn't be mad at that either. I mean, that's another very, 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 very knowledgeable football mind. Like pretty much anybody in Tom Brady's circle that he knows or hangs out with, not named Dick Daniels. I don't know if they still have any kind of relationship, but wouldn't it be funny as hell if they brought if they brought Dick Daniels in to be the offensive coordinator under Antonio Pierce? Also hate that we get outnumbered 5-1 in our own stadium. I mean, I've talked about this on this channel many, many times, and salute MAMR. Appreciate you pulling up. Like, subscribe if you've never been here before. But I've never seen you in here. But we've talked about this on this channel a lot of times. It's never gonna change. Like, Mark Davis is a brilliant, brilliant businessman. But when it comes to the knowledge of the football or the knowledge of the game, I don't know if he's ever trying to learn or if he wants to learn or if he's putting in any effort to learn what goes on in a football game. Like, I don't know if he watches it, but I don't know if he comprehends that shit. So he knew what he was doing, bringing it here. It was all about money. It was all about building his name, his legacy. And had nothing to do with the Raiders or this franchise or this organization ever coming to Las Vegas, because he knew damn well, and a lot of Raider fans knew right away. And look, it says Las Vegas Raiders, bro. I lived most of my life in Vegas. I was born a Cali boy. I lived 20-something years in Vegas, so I'm a Vegas boy pretty much. And even I knew that the Vegas wasn't the right place for the Raiders. It's a party town for adults to take vacations, to get away. They raised all the taxes in the hotels 40%. If you go to try to rent a room anywhere in Vegas, you pay 40% sales tax. whether you're coming to see the Raiders play or not. So it was a brilliant, brilliant move to make everybody that comes to see the Las Vegas or to see their team play the Raiders pay for our stadium. And I can't hate on that, but it sucks for our team that they'll never have home field advantage. Like it's an unfair advantage for this team to constantly play road games, and whether they're sleeping in their bed or not at night, it's still a road game, and it'll still always be a road game. And you have guys like Hondo Carpenter and uh, whatever, all these reporters that say they believe that Vegas wants a winning franchise and they will show up and show out when we start winning. But bro, like I said, I was in Vegas most of my life, and I still know a lot of people in Vegas. They don't want Mark Davis and the Raiders in Vegas, bro. They don't want that shit. They don't want that losing ass franchise there. And that's what it's been for 20 something years, a losing ass franchise. And until they turn that shit around, they will never ever black out Allegiant Stadium, and we will never have home games. And that's just a fact. It's a fact. But all the fans that come there to watch their teams play and whoop our ass are paying for our stadium, and it won't be long before that bitch is paid off. So maybe when the stadium is paid off, maybe ticket prices will lower, and maybe by then we can have a franchise quarterback and a franchise running back and some coaches that know what the hell we're doing, and maybe we could turn this shit around. Vote Kamala for what? To give prisoners free sex changes because they can't tell whether they want to be men or women? Come on, bro. Don't start politics in here. That's just trash all around, bro. Right? I mean, bring in Bill O'Brien, dude. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely younger than all of them, and Belichick, and Harbaugh, and he's got a brilliant football mind. I wouldn't hate on that shit at all. I would not hate on that. Bring in Bill O'Brien, bring in Robert Salah as defensive coordinator. Go back to the Giants and get our offensive lineman back, our offensive line coach back, which should have never, ever fucking got let go. That was the worst move that Antonio Pierce made as head coach right there, was letting our offensive line coach go. That's one of the best offensive line coaches in the business, bro. But, you don't grow if you don't make mistakes, right? That's what they say. You can't learn from mistakes if you don't make any. So, I'm not. I can't say I'm willing to give AP another chance for another year, bro. I'm done with that. I'm off that bandwagon. I gave this dude chance after chance after chance to prove to me that I wasn't wrong, saying he could be that guy, and he made me look like a fucking idiot, bro. He made me look like a dumbass. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Like, I can't evaluate people or football, and it's not all his fault. It's not all his fault. He was thrown into a position he wasn't ready for, and he surrounded himself around guys that he thought was going to give him the best advice to win. And apparently those weren't the guys that he needed around him, like Tom Coughlin. Come on, those guys, they're old. You know what happens to old coaches? They get fired because the game passes them by. There's a reason Tom Coughlin, Marvin Lewis, Joe Philbin aren't coaches in the NFL no more. There's a reason. Because they suck. Because they were ass. The game passed them by. I'm supposed to talk about it, be about it. But he's all talk. Who are you talking about? Jackson Dart and Bill and Brian could be bad together, right? That could be a nasty, nasty, nasty duo. I'm down with that. Who's gonna be the quarterback coach though? Can we bring back Bo Hardegree as quarterback coach from Tennessee? Let him learn from a guy like Bill O'Brien, and maybe eventually he could take over OC calling. Cause look, a lot of people hated on Bo Hardegree, but I thought Bo Hardegree's offense was innovative as shit. He took a playbook that was this big down to this big, and then ran his own shit out of it. It took a couple weeks, but towards the last 5 games of the season, which he only called plays for what, 9 games, 8 games, 9 games? For 9 games calling plays, the last 5, that dude called a hell of a game. And we were fucking schooling teams. Like, we were running the ball, smash mouth down people's throat like Antonio Pierce wanted. We were throwing the ball deep. We were doing everything Antonio Pierce said he wanted in the offense. And that's why we won last year. And then Antonio Pierce turns his back on Aiden O'Connell, on Bo Hardegree, on why the fuck can I think of the name of our O-line coach last year? Yeah, on those dudes. You know, a lot of the guys that got him to the dance, right? I don't think he would have ever got a head coaching job if he took over as interim and went 3-5 like Dick Daniels was, right? It was the fact that he went 5-4, had a winning record, almost got us in the playoffs. And that was the team, the offensive coordinator, the guys and the staff that was around him. So I think he fucked up by turning his back on what got him that job. And karma's a bitch, bro. Karma's a bitch. So I'm getting off here. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I gotta get up in fucking 4 hours. Probably go play in the rain. Oh God, Jesus. Oh shit. I appreciate y'all for pulling up. Much love as always. We out. Raiders. Check me out tomorrow night, Monday Night Scrutiny. What time does the game start? 6 o'clock? Shit. Before or after the game, I don't know which one. Depends on what time I get off work. And then Thursday also for what's on film, because man, I didn't do it last week, and maybe I'll combine last week into this week, because there's a lot of film to be broke down that's just bad. Our running backs are fucking atrocious, dude. Atrocious. But anyways, peace out. Much love. Love y'all. Good night. Late.